we've got a tip from Caesar Leo. Appreciate you. Thank you for the tip. And he comes with a question. He wants to know if we can explain how a baby naming ceremony works. So there's the purpose and the mechanics. In the condensed version, I suppose, the purpose is that when that new baby comes into this world, into Midgard, there's a time where it's becoming a whole person. And to fulfill its soul complex and to set that baby's identity, not just as an individual, but as a part of a bigger whole that is our folk, and specifically that is our AFA family, there in front of the gods and in front of our folk, we affix the name that the parents have chose for the child. And from that moment on, that child is a full person with their soul complex. Some of that evolves from a time where infant mortality was very high. And so before we fully invest that child with the finishing touches of that folk soul, we want to make sure that the child is viable and physically healthy to have a good start in life. And so I think that's part of that. Usually it's done, at least 9 days after the birth. In this day and age, stuff comes up, and sometimes people will hold off until there's a gathering in their area. So it's sometimes a little bit more than those 9 days. One thing that's an AFA tradition that I do, and that now the AFA does, is if you have time the night before, if you get to meet the child, meet the family, I draw runes, and I ask each of the Norns to give that child a blessing and a rune to set their course and to kind of inspire and instill gifts to them. And so a rune for Verdandi, and Skuld. So I draw those, and I read those to the child and the parent and my interpretations of those blessings to them. And we affix those with mead, drawing those runes on the child's forehead. And then when we give them their name, we splash them with water, as our ancestors did, to imbue them with that name and announce them in front of the folk. And when we do that, we also drink toasts to that child and to that family. And as a group, we make commitments to be there for, to protect, to help provide for, to help raise that child in a way, and really welcome them into our faith community. And so that's really special. That's probably my favorite thing I get to do as a Gothi. Svan, do you have anything to add on that ceremony?
Yeah, I'm a particular fan of your formulation of our current and way that we fasten names to babies. I think, a long time ago, people did them certain different ways. They had like locality traditions, things that they would do in order to affix names, things that maybe if they weren't able to get to the Hoffs, or back then there were no Hoffs. So, one of my children, we were lucky enough to have great grandmother and grandmother and mother all there with the baby, holding the baby while the name was being, fastened and sprinkled. And that was done, at the house, because, especially for my first boy, there were no temples then. So, yeah, I think that there's a lot of beautiful things that can be added or done, but when you have a community and you have a priesthood that you can now kind of rely on or ask for help or seek guidance or even to wait, or some people do, like they'll fasten their child at home, but then they'll wait to the next event and they'll come and introduce them and do a name fastening ceremony at the temple and get a chance to introduce them to all the folk. I think it's beautiful. It's a huge, and momentous evolution that's happened in such a short period of time, from having nothing to now you have Hoffs and Gothar that can perform the ceremony and join in with the parents and introducing the child to the folk.